Welcome, brothers and sisters. My name is Comet, and today we are gonna continue our readings on Magicka. In previous sessions, we have learned that Magicka is the flow of life within everyone that is presented in us in the way of an energy, and this energy can be trained for combat. And today we are gonna be learning how this energy can be used for combat. So let's begin. In Skyrim, the grand wizards of this land have developed 5 schools of Magicka, which means that there are 5 applications of this energy that is thought within Skyrim. There are other applications as well outside of this land, and even some of the people within the land have other applications as well, but those are forbidden due to the harm that they can cause to the owner but also to everyone around them. For this, the 5 schools have been made so that we can train the most powerful ways to use Magicka for combat that is also safe for us and our allies. So, the first school is the School of Destruction. And the name is like this because we are gonna focus our energy to harm our enemies. Now, this energy is not like you may have seen in other lands. This energy will be transformed into elemental energy that we can control with our minds to harm specific opponents and not just anyone around us. This means that our allies are, for the most part, safe. And I say for the most part because if we confuse them for opponents, they might be hurt. But this elemental energy is key for any aspiring caster. And this energy is presented and is taught within Skyrim in the form of 3 elements. The element of fire, the element of ice, and the element of lightning. Each of these elements have different properties. Fire being the most intense of the 3, also being able to deal the most damage. But not everything is about damaging the enemy. Sometimes you need to lead with a strategy, not just with raw power. For this, ice was made. The element of ice has the property of being able to slow down or freeze completely the movement of enemies, and this is important when large numbers of combatants are approaching us. This will give us a massive advantage in a fight. And finally, we have the element of lightning. There are different creatures in Skyrim and different warriors that have developed resistance to fire and ice, but none can resist the raw power of lightning, of electricity, as these will hit the body at its smallest core, which are in the form of particles within the body, molecules, atoms, and electrons. This is why it's important to learn the school of lightning. But this is only to defend against those who have developed specific resistance. Dragons are a very good example, but also the Nordic creatures in Skyrim have developed resistance to ice. For this reason, as a last resort, we have lightning. But not everything is about harming the body. Sometimes you want to get something else, something that may not include violence. For this, we have the School of Illusion. The School of Illusion focuses on manipulating the mind of our opponents. With this, we can get information that is key from prisoners of war. We can also control the battlefield without harming someone, which is sometimes important to win a fight. The School of Illusions focuses on controlling the mind of the opponents so that they can be of use to us. And the most advanced wizards of the land can use the School of Illusion to even turn themselves completely invincible to the enemies by simply disappearing, as the School of Illusion changes the perception of the opponent. This means that they can turn themselves invisible to everyone and thus avoiding any damage. However, there are times where dealing damage or manipulating or just fighting is the least that we want to do, because in war there are casualties. In war you can get damaged, you can get hurt yourself, and for this we have the School of Restoration, which focuses on healing one's body and mind. The School of Restoration will use the energy within our body to bring back to shape our bodies and our minds. So any wound, any issue that our body may have, or any issue that our mind may have, will be completely back to shape thanks to the School of Restoration and thanks to the healing spells. But those who want to do more with their magic and want to have more utility can do so thanks to the School of Alteration, which focuses on changing the shape of outside objects using their own energy. Their energy will control every single one of the molecules within one element or one object to a point when the best wizard can completely change an iron ingot into a silver ingot. But this is just one of those applications. With the School of Alteration, we can see the true nature of our energy, which is light, used to illuminate the battlefield. So Alteration is the School of Magicka that focuses on bringing utility whenever is needed. And finally, we have the School of Conjuration, potentially the most advanced School of Magicka that we are gonna learn, because here is about shape-shifting our own energy so that we can create creatures or objects from our own imagination and project this imagination into the material world by using our energy. This means that the person will be able to create entire weapons, full weapons, from their own energy. By this I mean swords, axes, or even bows and arrows, but also creatures such as wolves that they can use for combat. This is definitely one of the most advanced applications of Magicka, but those who choose to learn this will get a huge advantage on the battlefield, even against other wizards. And with this, brothers and sisters, we finish today's session. I hope you enjoyed what we learned today. And now that we know what is Magicka, what it needs to be done to train it, and how we can train it, we can start finally getting into action. So starting tomorrow, brothers and sisters, I am gonna start my training to become a wizard.